The success of this government, and thus the success of our nation, depends in the last analysis upon the quality of our career. War will exist until that distant day when the conscientious objector enjoys the same reputation and prestige that the warrior does today. In the Chinese language, the word crisis is composed of two characters, one representing danger and the other, opportunity. To further the appreciation of culture among all the people, to increase respect for the creative individual, to widen participation by all the processes and fulfillments of art, this is one of the fascinating challenges of these days. We can say with some assurance that, although children may be the victims of fate, they will not be the victims of our neglect. I look forward to an America which will not be afraid of grace and beauty, an America which will reward achievement in the arts as we reward achievement in business or statecraft. The federal budget can and should be made an instrument of prosperity and stability, not a deterrent to recovery. It is increasingly clear that no matter what party is in power, so long as our national security needs keep rising, an economy hampered by restrictive tax rates will never produce enough jobs or enough profits. Now let me make it clear that I believe there can only be one defense policy for the United States, and that is summed up in the word first. I do not mean first, but. I do not mean first, when. I do not mean first, if. I mean first, period. Our deep spiritual confidence that this nation will survive the perils of today, which may well be with us for decades to come, compels us to invest in our nation's future, to consider and meet our obligations to our children and the numberless generations that will follow. Our goal is not the victory of might but the vindication of right, not peace at the expense of freedom, but both peace and freedom, here in this hemisphere, and, we hope, around the world. God willing, that goal will be achieved. The life of the arts, far from being an interruption, a distraction, in the life of a nation, is very close to the center of a nation's purpose, and is a test of the quality of a nation's civilization. I can imagine a no more rewarding career. And any man who may be asked in this century what he did to make his life worthwhile, I think can respond with a good deal of pride and satisfaction, I served in the United States Navy. What really counts is not the immediate act of courage or of valor, but those who bear the struggle day in and day out, not the sunshine patriots but those who are willing to stand for a long period of time. When I ran for presidency of the United States, I knew that this country faced serious challenges, but I could not realize, nor could any man realize who does not bear the burdens of this office, how heavy and constant would be those burdens. Let us not despair but act. Let us not seek the Republican answer or the Democratic answer but the right answer. Let us not seek to fix the blame for the past. Let us accept our own responsibility for the future. For I can assure you that we love our country, not for what it was, though it has always been great, not for what it is, though of this we are deeply proud, but for what it someday can, and, through the efforts of us all, someday will be. But however close we sometimes seem to that dark and final abyss, let no man of peace and freedom despair. For he does not stand alone. The great enemy of truth is very often not the lie, deliberate, contrived and dishonest, but the myth, persistent, persuasive and unrealistic. Too often we hold fast to the clichés of our forebears. We subject all facts to a prefabricated. Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Conformity is the jailer of freedom and the enemy of growth. Children are the world's most valuable resource and its best hope for the future. Forgive your enemies, but never forget their names. The best road to progress is freedom's road. All of us do not have equal talent, but all of us should have an equal opportunity to develop those talents. We shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe, in order to assure the survival and the success of liberty. If freedom is to survive and prosper, it will require the sacrifice, the effort and the thoughtful attention of every citizen. The stories of past courage can teach, they can offer hope, they can provide inspiration. But they cannot supply courage itself. For this each man must look into his own soul. For in a democracy, every citizen, regardless of his interest in politics, hold office, every one of us is in a position of responsibility, and, in the final analysis, the kind of government we get depends upon how we fulfill those responsibilities. We, the people, are the boss, and we will get the kind of political leadership, be it good or bad, that we demand and deserve. A man does what he must, in spite of personal consequences, in spite of obstacles and dangers and pressures, and that is the basis of all human morality. Let us not emphasize all on which we differ but all we have in common. Let us consider not what we fear separately but what we share together. Let every nation know, whether it wishes us well or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe to assure the survival and the success of liberty. United there is little we cannot do in a host of cooperative ventures. Divided there is little we can do, for we dare not meet a powerful challenge at odds and split asunder. If a free society cannot help the many who are poor, it cannot save the few who are rich. I think the American people expect more from us than cries of indignation and attack. The times are too grave, the challenge too urgent, and the stakes too high, to permit the customary passions of political debate. We are not here to the darkness, but to light the candle that can guide us through that darkness to a safe and sane future. So let us begin anew, remembering on both sides that civility is not a sign of weakness, and sincerity is always subject to proof. Let us never negotiate out of fear. But let us never fear to negotiate. Let both sides seek to invoke the wonders of science instead of its terrors. Together let us explore the stars, conquer the deserts, eradicate disease, tap the ocean depths and encourage the arts and commerce.